Okay, before you start protesting that this can't be a first reaction, it is a first reaction. I've only actually probably heard half of the Beatles' music. They were big from 1964 to 1970, just 6 short years. When I was 4 years old to 10 years old, yeah, I was running around the house singing their songs, but I didn't really get into music till I was about 12. I mean, like seriously, getting my own records, that kind of stuff. They were already done and gone by then. And I just never really got into them very much until I was in my 20s and 30s. I mean, by the time I was 12, I was already into Pink Floyd, Rolling Stones, and all those groups and stuff, Don McLean, others. And so, yeah, so I just really, and I never bought an album by the Beatles. I've never bought a full album. I don't think I've ever sat down and listened to an entire album by the Beatles. I know 30 or 40 of their songs, of course. And I've even done a reaction to Hard Day's Night. I did that on Patreon several months back. One of my favorite movies of all time. I love the Beatles. Of course, they're geniuses, but I've never heard this song. I saw it recommended by somebody who loves George Harrison. This song, of course, was written by George Harrison. The chord structure is done by George Harrison as well. He got the chord structure from Dylan's Sad-Eyed Lady of the Lowlands, which he loved. And this is this song that George Harrison wrote in '68 is a song to God, it turns out. And most people who were listening to it thought it was to a woman. I mean, either way, it's not specific about that. Later in interviews, he said it was directed at God. He did that, of course, several times. And he also calls it Long, 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 which I really like instead of Long, Long, Long Time. I like the mystery of that. And of course, this was on the White Album, the Beatles' White Album, called The Beatles, eponymous double album from 1968. And the music on this is called psychedelic folk, I think. The Beatles, the lads were in with the Maharishi in India in early '68, and that's where George wrote this. The lads weren't getting along too well. This is sort of the beginning of the dark period, or whatever you want to call it, where they're just not getting along that well. But George is coming into his own. And so, yeah, so they put this on the White Album, which you're looking at right there. And I mean, there aren't very many words in this. I mean, it's got four stanzas, and there's just not much. It's a long, long time. So many tears. Now I can see you. All this other stuff. So, really looking forward to the music on this. Can't wait to see what the lads do. And I'm really happy that I get to react to something that I've never heard from before, especially by the Beatles. So, what do you say we go? Let's go on this. Nice. I like that sitar sound.
It's been a long time.
Man, they're so good. Wow. Wasn't expecting that. I just want to say real quick, boy, I mean, the bounce back and forth between supreme, very low energy melody, love to the strong, to Ringo going after the drums. Guy's a freaking genius on the drums. Is just, I'm really liking that. I like the energy of that, the sitar sound, the acoustics. It's really good. The bass on this, of course, McCartney, it's just really nice. And I wasn't expecting all of their voices, so that's really nice too. Okay. go up with their voice.
So many days I was searching. So many days I was wasting.
Wow, nice.
Now I can see you,
Be you. That sitar's nice.
misplace you. How I want you. Oh, I love you. You know that I need you. Oh, I love you.
The hell is that? Wow. What? Wow. What a freaking ending. Almost ecstasy. Sort of that, I guess, the God ecstasy or whatever. Almost sort of that ecstatic, jubilant, chaotic, universal ending on that. And then what that rattling was in there, almost like sort of a metaphor for the rattling of the soul, confusion and everything else misplaced, as he says in here. And then you think it's over, and Ringo comes in with a giant snare. Wow. Boom, it's done. Oh, how I love you. I love you. Oh, man. Oh my God. I mean, this has just got so much in it that I think that is that a mellotron in there in the background? I think that's a mellotron. And then, I mean, Ringo's drums are just stupendous on this. I was not expecting drums when this thing started out. I wasn't expecting them to play much of a role, but I really like the almost not fury, but the gives it a presence, gives it a world. The drum is a worldly instrument. It's a heartbeat instrument, and it gives it that. It gives it that now feeling. The word I can't find the word right now, but it gives it that sort of not impetuous either, but it just gives it strength. It gives the song strength and texture and structure, and just love. I wasn't expecting John Lennon's voice to be on this. I was expecting it to be more of George's voice. So that's interesting also. Because, usually when George wrote a song, if I'm not mistaken, he was the lead singer on it. And then, of course, the lads would come in and harmonize. But, I mean, just everything about this. I mean, the up and down on it with the melody and then the drums and then back to the melody and then the cadence picking up and the sound picking up later and the sort of plaintive feel for this. I mean, the Beatles, my God. I mean, of course, with George Martin, with them, the production on this is just simply astounding. As is always with them, the production is perfect, perfect. I don't know enough about music, about chords and everything else to say much about that. I wish I knew more, but the sense I got on this was that there was sort of a misplacement of chords occasionally that I felt on this that worked really well, and I wish I could explain that better. I can't, but it also sort of added to the sort of plaintive confusion of it, which most people talk about when they're talking about, God or whatever. But of course, this could just be if you don't know it's about God, it could be a paean to somebody you love. It's been a long time. How could I ever have lost you when I loved you? And I misplaced you. So yeah. So I like songs that can have that double entendre. Anyway, this was a treat. This was a real, the same kind of Beatles sound, but different. And I really liked that. Okay. I'm looking forward to y'all's comments. Let me know what I missed and add your 2 cents. I appreciate it. Really enjoyed this. Okay, take care. Bye now.